My journey to finding Sylvan started probably quite a long time ago. I'll just give you a brief background about where I come from. I come from a family of educationists. My father's been a teacher for 40 years. I've had my siblings actually wanting to teach. I have been a university professor for over 10 years. I have been a motivational speaker. I have been a national ambassador for speaking for the youth for a very long time. So I've always seen educating the youth. I've always believed that they can do bigger, better things in life if they get to the right track in the very early in their educational careers. Following into the footsteps of my father, I thought that I would want to do something which would eventually make a lot of difference into the young kids' life. And I thought I was ready to transition into something which would be more focused towards early education or education for kids. And that is when I started looking for Sylvan, looking for actually a franchise that would do that. I had a lot of options, but obviously after a lot of evaluation of different options, I chose Sylvan. The transition has been really simple, easy, with a lot of help and support from a lot of people at corporate, a lot of franchisees. In fact, the first time I actually met a franchisee, I was a bit nervous. I thought it's not going to go too well because they might assume another guy coming into the system and would treat me otherwise. But the way everybody embraced me, the way I felt at corporate was home. Everybody made sure that all my all my questions were answered in a timely manner. Everybody made sure that they took care of me whenever I had something going on at the center. So the transition has been super easy from the day we came to find about Sylvan through to the interview process, through to the selection process, throughout the entire process of setting up a center and then eventually running that center. Everybody at corporate has been amazing. The teams have been great. My franchise business consultant has been amazing. The franchisees that I revert to whenever I have issues and would want to know how a franchisee would handle it has been amazing. So the transition has been super easy. I believe owning a Sylvan, I do not see Sylvan as a business, honestly. I see as an opportunity to be doing something for yourself and doing something for the community. You're actually giving back a lot. If you look at other services like Sylvan out there, you would realize that Sylvan is a company that really gives a lot back to the community. You are actually helping out a lot of kids. I believe it will eventually be very profitable for you, but in the process you would be satisfied that you're giving a lot back to the community. So although you're making money for yourself, you're also doing a lot for the community. So I would definitely encourage a lot of people to be doing Sylvan. Honestly, it's a very satisfying feeling. Even when I was a teacher and I used to teach at universities, I would have kids come up to me and thank me for what I was able to do for them. And the same happens with Sylvan. You, on the first day a family comes in and they're really worried about their child not doing really well at school. And they decide to put them through Sylvan, and probably a few months down the road they come back to you and they say the kid is doing amazingly well. These are things that help me sleep well at night. So definitely it's a very rewarding career. It's very rewarding to know that you've been able to make an impact in a child's life who would eventually go out and make really good things, do really good things for themselves. So definitely a lot of rewarding satisfaction that comes back to you. I'm a relatively new franchisee and I went through the process of finding out the right solutions for me. So I went out and I talked to a lot of other people who were actually doing something similar to Sylvan. The reason I believe Sylvan is much better than all the other franchisees, all the other outlets there, for two things. Number one, they focus on technology, and technology is something that really attracts kids these days. The second, their focus on quality and the focus on delivering the right amount of information to the children. I believe Sylvan is definitely better because I do not see a lot of other people doing a lot of remedial options in the industry as compared to supplemental options. So when children are actually struggling, they do not need supplemental education, they do need remedial education. Sylvan is one of the very few brands that actually do remedial education. So that is why it definitely stands out from all the competitors out there. I believe in the Sylvan brand because, as stated previously, Sylvan works really well with technology, which helps the learning process with children. They also focus a lot on making sure that the children are given the right amount of information in the hour that they are with the teacher. They also focus on the 3-to-1 ratio, which makes sure that each child gets enough attention during that 1 hour to be able to maximize the learning process. I believe in the Sylvan brand because Sylvan is all about giving back to the community. They would invest a lot in R&D to come up with new techniques that would help the children learn. I believe the schools are doing a great job, but with over 20-30 kids in the class, the teacher can only do enough. And there are a lot of people who need help with, who need outside help. Sylvan is a brand that is there to help those kids. As I said, remedial education is something that those kids need, and Sylvan stands out in remedial education. That is why I believe in the Sylvan brand.